Hello and welcome to this session on how to create and submit an invoice. To create an invoice, we must be in the Create app. Once in the app, you need to select Invoice at the top. Now we're in the Create Invoice screen, we first need to say who we are going to send the invoice to. From the drop-down list, you can see your already established Tradeshift connections. Next, you must enter in an invoice number. If this is the first time you've created an invoice, you can enter any invoice number that you wish. And the next time that you create an invoice, you will be given the next number in the sequence. Enter the date that you are issuing the invoice. Today's date will be entered as a default, but you can change this if applicable. We must of course enter the currency that we wish to invoice our customer in. You can select this using the drop-down box. There is also a field to populate the payment due date. I will offer the customer 30 days to pay this from the quick option at the bottom. You can also add a delivery date, but if you wish to remove any of the fields, you can click the cross on the right. You may also add optional fields. There are a variety of optional fields to pick from, and in this scenario I will select the person reference field, which marks the invoice for the attention of a particular user by inputting their email address. You could select additional optional fields if you wish. Next, I will enter in the item ID for what I will be invoicing our customer for. In this example, I will choose a Tradeshift training session. I'll add the quantity and I'll put in the price and tax, which are both mandatory fields and must be included for each line item. To add an additional line to your invoice, please click Add New Line. This time I will invoice for Tradeshift Training Resources. As previously mentioned, I must add the quantity, price and tax for each line item. Another option I have at the bottom is to add an additional header charge, discount or tax item. To apply a discount, you can type in a description of your choosing, or you can select from the drop-down list of predetermined reason codes. So I will select pricing discount, and I will offer a 5% discount. You can now see that this amount is reflected in the subtotal down the bottom. I also have the option to add the base quantity if it is applicable. Scrolling down, there are additional options to add how you would like to be paid, and you can add your account details here to make it easier to receive payment. I also have the option to save that payment method for future invoices. I will write a message to the recipient just to add further information to this invoice, and you also have the option to save these notes for future invoices if it is applicable. Just below this, I have the option to add attachments to the invoice. It's very simple to do. You would click Add Attachment and select the file from your computer. You can save this invoice as a draft, although this happens on a regular basis automatically, and you can view any draft invoices in the Document Manager app. You could also delete this draft by clicking Discard if you wish. I have the option to set the delivery address to appear on the invoice. And at the bottom of the screen, there is also the option to include footer notes, such as adding your company profile to this invoice. At the very bottom, I have the option to preview my invoice or to simply send it straight away. For either of these options, you must have already set your company address in the Profile app. If you haven't, you'll be asked to populate it before proceeding. In this example, I'm going to click Preview. So this is a preview of my invoice, exactly how it will be sent to my buyer, including all the information that I have populated in the previous screen. If I wanted to go back and change the information before I send it, I can click the Edit button, or if I'm happy, I will go ahead and click Send. This will return me back to the Document Manager app, and I can see a record of my invoice that I have now sent to my client. Both the buyer and the seller can view all documents received or sent via the Document Manager app. Simply click the document number you wish to view and you can see the document in its entirety.